ഹലോ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ്, Day4 റിവിഷൻ ക്ലാസ്സിലേക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. ആദ്യം നമുക്ക് സെക്ഷൻസും റൂൾസും നോക്കാം. സെക്ഷൻ 46 അപ്രൂവൽ ഓഫ് ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഫോർ പർച്ചേസ് ഓഫ് ഷെയർസ്. സെക്ഷൻ 46 അപ്രൂവൽ ഓഫ് ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഫോർ പർച്ചേസ് ഓഫ് ഷെയർസ്. സെക്ഷൻ 47 ലയബിലിറ്റി ടു ബി ലിമിറ്റഡ് ഇൻ റെസ്പെക്റ്റ് ഓഫ് സർട്ടൈൻ ഷെയർസ്. Section 47 liability to be limited in respect of certain shares. Section 48 restrictions on amount of dividend. Section 48 restrictions on amount of dividend. Section 49 indemnity of apex and central societies. Section 49 indemnity of apex and central societies. Section 50 disposal of share capital and dividend etc. Section 50 disposal of share capital and dividend etc. Section 51 disposal of principal state partnership fund and subsidiary state partnership fund on winding up of apex or central society. Section 51 disposal of principal state partnership fund and subsidiary state partnership fund on winding up of apex or central society. Section 52 agreement by government and apex societies. Section 52 agreement by government and apex societies. Section 53 order forms of state aid to societies. Section 53 order forms of state aid to societies. Section 54 provisions of sections 43 to 52 to override other laws. Chapter 7 Properties and Funds of Cooperative Societies. Chapter 7 Properties and Funds of Cooperative Societies. Section 55 Fund not to be divided. Section 55 Fund not to be divided. Section 56 Disposal of net profit. Section 56 Disposal of net profit. Section 56A Disposal of non-banking assets. Section 56A disposal of non-banking assets. Section 57 investment of funds. Section 57 investment of funds. Section 57A cooperative development and welfare fund. Section 57A cooperative development and welfare fund. Section 57B deposit guarantee scheme. Section 57B deposit guarantee scheme. Section 57C Consortium Lending Scheme. Section 57C Consortium Lending Scheme. Section 57D Cooperative Risk Fund Scheme. Section 57D Cooperative Risk Fund Scheme. Section 58 Restrictions on Borrowing. Section 58 Restrictions on Borrowing. Section 59 Restrictions on Loans. Section 59 Restrictions on Loans. Section 60 Restrictions on other transactions with members. Section 60 Restrictions on other transactions with members. ഇനി റൂൾസ് നോക്കാം. റൂൾ 56 Restriction on grant of loans. Rule 56 Restriction on grant of loans. Rule 57 Transactions with the non-members. Rule 57 Transactions with the non-members. Rule 58 Provident Fund. Rule 58 Provident Fund. Rule 59 Gratuity. Rule 59 Gratuity. Rule 60 Mode of Investment of Reserve Fund. Rule 60 Mode of Investment of Reserve Fund. Rule 61 Object of Reserve Fund and Disposal thereof on the winding up of a society. Rule 61 Object of Reserve Fund and Disposal thereof on the winding up of a society. Rule 62 Writing of bad debts and losses. Rule 62 Writing of bad debts and losses. Rule 63 Maintenance of fluid resources by societies. Rule 63 Maintenance of fluid resources by societies. Chapter 7 Audit. Chapter 7 Audit. Rule 64 Audit. Rule 64 Audit. Rule 64A Qualification of Auditor. Rule 64A Qualification of Auditor. Rule 64B Audit Report. Rule 64B Audit Report. Rule 65 Levy of Audit Fees. Rule 65 Levy of Audit Fees. Chapter 8 Inquiry, Inspection, Suspension, Investigation and Surcharge. Chapter 8 Inquiry, Inspection, Suspension, Investigation and Surcharge. Rule 66 Procedure for the conduct of inquiry and inspection. Rule 66 Procedure for the conduct of inquiry and inspection. Rule 66A Inquiry and investigation of vigilance officer. Rule 66A Inquiry and investigation of vigilance officer. Chapter 9 Settlement of disputes. Chapter 9 Settlement of disputes. Rule 67 Reference of disputes, payment of expenses and decisions on disputes. Rule 67 Reference of disputes, payment of expenses and decisions on disputes. Rule 68 Mode of communication of orders and decision in deciding disputes. Rule 68 Mode of communication of orders and decision in deciding disputes. Chapter 10 Winding up and dissolution of cooperative societies. Chapter 10 Winding up and dissolution of cooperative societies. Rule 69 Procedure to be adopted by liquidator. Rule 69 Procedure to be adopted by liquidator. Rule 70 Disposal of records of a society ordered to be wound up. Rule 70 Disposal of records of a society ordered to be wound up. Chapter 11 Execution for decisions, awards and order. Chapter 11 Execution for decisions, awards and order. Rule 71 Application for enforcement of charge. Rule 71 Application for enforcement of charge. Rule 72 Issue of certificate under Section 76. Rule 72 Issue of certificate under Section 76. Rule 73 Execution proceedings under the Revenue Recovery Act. Rule 73 Execution proceedings under the Revenue Recovery Act. Rule 74 Procedure for execution of decision, award or order. Rule 74 Procedure for execution of decision, award or order. Rule 75 Order in which proceedings shall be taken. Rule 75 Order in which proceedings shall be taken. ഇനി നമുക്ക് ഫോറിൻ കോപ്പറേഷൻ നോക്കാം. അയർലൻഡ്. കോപ്പറേറ്റീവ് മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ് ഇൻ അയർലൻഡ് വാസ് സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ഇൻ 1889. അയർലൻഡ് ഈസ് ഫേമസ് ഫോർ അഗ്രികൾച്ചറൽ കോപ്പറേഷൻ. ഇനി ഇതിനോടൊപ്പം നമുക്ക് കുറച്ച് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് കൂടി പഠിക്കാം. ദി ഫാദർ ഓഫ് കോപ്പറേറ്റീവ് മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ് ഇൻ ദി വേൾഡ്, റോബർട്ട് ഓവൻ. ദി ബർത്ത് പ്ലേസ് ഓഫ് കോപ്പറേറ്റീവ് മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ് ഇൻ ദി വേൾഡ്, ഇംഗ്ലണ്ട്. Robert Owen became the owner of mill named New Lanark Mill. Labor Note, Labor Exchange, etc. are related Robert Owen. Co-operator was published by Dr. William King. First cooperative journal in the world, Co-operator. The birthplace of credit cooperative movement, Germany. Each for all and all for each is the slogan of RIVISION Society. Multi-purpose society was developed in Japan. First successful cooperative society in the world, Rockdale Equitable Pioneers Society. Birthplace of Land Mortgage Bank, Germany. Dairy Farm of Europe, Denmark. Cooperative Trading Organization must form a model of cooperative consumer store was first suggested by William King. Which country is considered the homeland of agricultural cooperation? Denmark. Country which has no cooperative legislation? Denmark. Day 5 ടൈം ടേബിൾ കൂടി ഇതിനോടൊപ്പം കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാവരും നല്ല രീതിയിൽ